Um, Hola, hola. This is your boy Tico Tren and Baron Yam. Um, this is
aka
basically
Dark
Baron,
Skin Tico,
aka Dark Skin
aka
Tika, aka
Kayes,
yep, Kayes, aka this is Baron Yam over here. We're gonna talk
aka
about
A Dog Blanca. Yep, go ahead.
Chaz or Chop basically because something came up in the news where apparently it was all fun and games until somebody that had actually the person who actually thought it was all okay was bothered by it for the most part. So
Oh,
this is some
you're telling me that one of the liberal people that put it on got offended by another one of them, and then
no,
now
no,
it's turning on each
the
other.
lovely mayor.
Oh well, she's a Democrat, right? She's a Democrat, right?
Yep, she's a Democrat, but
Yeah.
apparently I'm trying to start the one on I'm trying to
Twitch.
start the one. Yeah, I'm trying to start the one on Twitch before I continue, so they won't feel like
Mm.
they're left out.
Yeah, go ahead. Handle your business, player.
Because apparently they didn't like the title.
Or like True Sherm, boss man.
There it goes. Now that one's laughed. Okay, here we go now. But yeah, apparently the mayor of Seattle that was okay with this whole entire thing progressing the way it did. Apparently now she's not okay with it because apparently the protesters, the peaceful protesters that we referred to them as peaceful protesters, decided that they wanted to march on her house.
Yeah, they've been going awfully close towards the mansions and the wealthy areas in
Oh
these
no,
protests.
they actually did march on her house. They marched on her house.
Oh, okay. Any damage?
No, she basically called the police and she had them all escorted. And then five the next morning, she basically had Chaz all cleaned up. Basically, let that sink in. Five the next morning, she had Chaz all cleaned up.
Wow.
Yeah,
Sounds like so much for them being inspired to do it themselves.
what's
If
up, Nick
somebody can just
Conway? Yeah,
what's up,
so
Quinn?
yeah, so basically, yeah, they basically so yeah, basically, I guess they thought of a bright idea to march on the senator's house, and the lovely senator didn't really find it too funny or find it too great, find the whole entire thing too great anymore. So she decided that she was going to call the police and have it handled. Basically, needless to say, not only did the Seattle Police Department show up down there, FBI showed up down there, and they showed up in full rag gear and everything. And they basically told them that they told them several times they have X amount of time to disperse. They didn't disperse, so they all got swept up out of there. There was a bunch of arrests. There was a lot of shit going on basically, and it sucks being everybody that was down there for the most part. And they started cleaning up the streets and moving. We're moving all the barricades as we speak right now. Basically,
So no more chop.
no more Chop. Chop is done. Chaz or slash Chop are gone.
Chop has been chopped.
Literally,
Amazing.
Chop got
Amazing.
canceled. Amazing.
I was so looking forward to all of the Chop Twitch streams and the Chop live streams of people singing "Kumbaya," standing together, kneeling for each other, comrade. I'm
Yeah.
bummed now. I'm so bummed now.
Hey,
That was gonna be the entertainment complex of America in my
not
eyes.
anymore.
I mean,
Hmm.
it was turning out to be that way, and then all of a sudden it's over just like that. And the person who supported it, the government official, the democratically elected government official, flip flopped on it until the very end, and then had the FBI escorting people off of her estate.
Yeah,
You know,
that's the sad part.
I I always am surprised when stuff like this happens. I don't know why I am, why I should be, because it just
Hmm.
seems like this kind of stuff is just normal.
Yeah, like my saying when I say that when I say Look, it's all fun and game. It's all fun and games until it's all fun and games until it's happening to you. Then all of a sudden it's not funny anymore and it's not cool anymore, and now you want to get rid of the shit now, which really sucks once you think about it. Like you went from supporting this movement,
Full
then when
support.
everybody starts showing, you went from full support of this movement and talking trash on the president for wanting to send in the National Guards to now they're marching on your house. Now it's not okay. Now, like you think about that. Like think about that really. You went from all that to basically now it's not okay because you're scared now for your life, even though
You tried to pass the whole thing off as a food festival.
you try to pass it off as an art festival, literally try to pass it off as an art festival. And the sad part about that is doing that, you basically embolden them to do even more shit. It's kind of like what I say about when absolute power corrupts power. Once you give
Yeah.
them power, now they take some power. Now they're going to go abuse them more. They're going to go abuse more power. That's typically how that works, for the most part.
How I see it is the government is addicted to approval. So
Yeah,
they
like
chase it.
they
They
love
chase it
approval
instead of
so
being
much.
better. Yeah,
Yeah, they love approval so fucking much that it's like when shit happens, it's kind of like this kind of reminds me of that Ti incident. He's like, yeah, burn it down, burn it down, burn it down. They get to his house, they get to his gate. Oh no, hex no, y'all cutting up. Call the police, call the police, call the police. Like really, like really, dude. And that
hmm
goes to show you how selfish people are. It's all fun and games when it's not happening to people like them, but the minute it start happening to people like them, now all of a sudden we got to put some police force out there. So all of a sudden, police force is good for my protection, but I didn't want to
hmm
use them for all the Seattle residents that had to put up with this for weeks on end and have to worry about
hmm
their property value declining on a regular basis. But all of a sudden now that they're at my gates, now I have a problem with that. But those 500 residents that live in there, who the city was, who the city of CHAZ basically was taken over by these protesters from out of state. That was perfectly fine for all 500 of them people to have to suffer through that for weeks on end. But the minute they march up on your house, or now there's a bit of a problem, which actually that actually goes to show you like the disconnect between your actual politics and your actual citizens. Like think about that. They marched on her $7.6 million home, I think it is.
Yeah.
You're a mayor. Why do you have a $7.6 million home? Who are you?
Yeah.
Whose back are you scratching?
It's kind of like when, yeah, the manager pulls up in a Porsche, and you're
Yeah,
just thinking to yourself, how do they make that much money in order to be
yeah,
able to afford that?
yeah,
So obviously they're not doing their job because their job doesn't pay that much.
yeah. Obviously, or obviously they're doing their job to benefit somebody because yeah,
Yeah, and kind of the thing that I find funny is just the want to be the pulse of the nation. So I mean, obviously, government people have an issue with this because, I mean, but I understand because they are working for the government, whereas like people who protest, they say they speak on behalf of people in America when it's like they represent a very small portion of people, like demographically,
hmm
regardless of who would agree with what they have to say. I mean, it's like I think still they're not. They talk about equal representation in movies and music, and yet they want to be the majority of the people protesting, which doesn't make sense to me.
hmm
If you wanted to have actual equality, then you would have a platform or ideas that a multitude or an equality of people feel and resonate with. And from what it looks like to me, the people in Chop and Chaz are just all cut from the same cloth. None of them come from any different walks of life. They're all entitled. If any, some of them might have been more like less financially secure than others. And
hmm
I can notice this trend with the rest of the protests around the country. But other than that, there's very little there's very little diversity of opinion. And I don't think that a nation or whatever it is that they were going to be before the mayor locked it down will stand if there is not a diversity of opinions.
hmm
It's like lemmings off a cliff.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I don't know. I guess I've been kind of in a MGTOW kind of mood lately, so that's just been my opinion. Like, if someone doesn't agree with you, then you shouldn't band, or if someone is like trying to get you to do something, then you shouldn't band arms with them thinking that it's going to be okay, because that person, if you don't respect what that person thinks, they're going to end up turning on you in the end.
Yeah,
So I
true.
mean, it's best to just focus on what you like or what you believe personally, and may it attract people to you. If not, then you're in a state of pure growth. Because my theory is that like the only way that people can hold you back is if you let them. You know, they can't really damage you unless you let them damage you. Which,
Very true.
I mean, I think like this whole thing adds to that situation. How is Donald Trump doing, by the way? I saw something
Apparently,
yeah, apparently he's firing up for a lawsuit.
yeah, apparently he's suing a lot of people apparently in that lawsuit. So that should be very interesting.
From what I've told certain people, they don't think that it's going to stand.
Well, yeah, it all depends on how you look at it. I mean, it could
Mm.
stand, but it won't be public, and we'll all be distracted by something else, basically, like normal. That's how it usually works.
That's what I think.
We won't
Yeah, I
get
was thinking
distracted
like
by. We'll all be
regardless of
distracted.
what the
Outcome is we won't know.
what the outcome is, we won't know.
Everybody will probably end up signing like NDA orders and shit like that. So.
Uh-huh. And then we'll be back to
We'll be
NFL.
Yep.
Yeah.
Back to COVID virus, or back to inequality, or back to Black Lives Matter, which I really think is kind of sort of crazy, because the sad part about that, the thing that bothers me about this whole entire thing where they talk about Black Lives Matter is 90% of y'all, 80 to 90% of y'all are white.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah, and
the rest of y'all, the rest of the people marching are Chinese. Sorry about that, Asian, Latino, and Arab, and Indians.
Right.
About 2% of y'all are black in that whole entire march. Not even 2%, probably like 1%, or that are marching are actually black. Like, think about that. We're talking about Black Lives Matter. Ain't no black people in your ranks, really. There's like less black people in your ranks than there is in the whole there's less black people represented in your ranks than there actually is black people in the United States. Percentage wise, that is. So your whole entire movement right there is like null and void for the fact that there's really no black people in your ranks marching for this stuff. And the sad part about that, everybody that marched on the mayor's house was predominantly white. Like 90% of them were predominantly white that marched on the mayor's house. Now, we all know.
What race is the mayor, you know?
I can't remember.
I think she's white.
I think she might be white. I think she might be half and half. I don't know.
And the community that she lives in is probably predominantly what race?
White.
And so the protest.
I highly doubt there's any black people that live in that neighborhood with houses at $7.6 million. And wait a minute. Back to the main question. How are you the mayor and you own a house for $7.6 million? I'm going to take a wild guess and say you're married and your husband's ultra rich. Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
I would believe that. Yeah.
Because I can't see you buying a house for $7.6 million on a mayor's salary. That'd be like a cop owning a Lamborghini. A cop that just, came up from obscurity owning a Lamborghini Diablo.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that you're married so we can actually explain that away. If you are, I'm hoping that your husband's rich or ultra rich or owns some type of serious businesses, because I can't see you being in a house like that unless, you're married to somebody, which makes you a pointless mayor, because technically you can't really connect with your constituents if you live in a $7.6 million home. You have nothing in common with your constituents. And before anybody get on here, I'm Afro-Latino, so I can actually speak on behalf of black people.
Well, like, it only matters to a certain portion of people. what your race is, Tico, but I mean, that's just what we're talking about right now is the fact that when you put your head, like I said, when you put your head so far up your ass that you become addicted to, the smell of your own shit, then I think you haven't, you just have no way of testing your BS, but with like other people that also believe the same BS that you believe. It's kind of like you don't have a good sample size to test against. And I don't know. I kind of, there were a few occasions where I participated in it. Like I tell a lot of people, like I actually um, naively voted for Hillary Clinton, and I was like, it was my first election that I ever voted in and stuff. And it's like when I tell people that, they're like, "Why? Why did you do that?" And I'm like, yeah, I frankly don't know. And when you're in that, when you're a part of those like echo chambers and stuff, like a lot of people who are black, a lot of people who are brown, a lot of people who might be disenfranchised or something, they really don't have a voice.
Very true.
It's only when you get outside that you realize like the things that I say matter, not to other people, but to me. Like the things that I believe in, they should matter. And like, what am I without a bunch of people telling me that they support me and that they fight for me when they are not the same color as me or they don't match the same culture?
You got quiet, Baron.
There we go.
Okay.
Well, you just, I
When
think
they're not
if
the
you,
same color, or you say you're at the same color or the same culture, basically.
well, like what was I getting from them if it wasn't solidarity? Because I still felt at odds with them, and it turned out that I was actually I was actually feeding off of the approval that I was getting from them, and that's something that I think is really dangerous, especially if you're quote unquote a minority in the country, which to me that doesn't actually represent what I view myself as. Like I don't see myself as not belonging here, not fitting in here. Like I feel very much at home the place that I'm at. So it's like
Yeah.
for people to on a certain political line to tell me that I feel I'm alienated by other people, it's just not true.
Yeah. The sad part about that, you're probably more alienated by the people who are telling you that you're alienated by these other people.
Like I said, they were that I don't have a voice in that political party. They speak for me half of the
Yeah, like
time,
that
most
shouldn't even
often all the
be.
time.
Yeah, and that shouldn't even be a thing. If you're your own human being and you're able to and people are totally supposed to be speaking for you, then you're not your own human being. And that means you can't take responsibility because other people are speaking up around you and for you for the most part. What is the point of having a voice when you're going to
Yeah.
do it for me?
It's like who I am is like an abstract concept to other people, so they think that they can use it and manipulate it when I'm like a real hard blood and bone person.
Yeah.
And that's not how I think at all. It's not how anybody that I am related to thinks at all in the slightest.
Very true.
So I mean, take that for what you will. It's not to say that, and I think it's an important thing to address when people say, well, how do you well, I don't. I think it's more trolling for most people. But how do you say that you're black, or how do you say that you're brown? What it comes down to for me is just like I say what I am. I don't let anybody else describe who I am. So I mean, I know who I am to other people matters, but it's on me to be able to handle that. It's kind of like what you talk about a lot when you just say, improve yourself instead of
Mm-hmm.
wondering why other people get privileges that you don't. Like just spend that time that you could be complaining, just trying to improve your overall standing in life, make it so that you're happy with whatever your treatment you're getting. And if it's not treatment that you like, then I mean, do your best to love yourself and appreciate yourself in the moment, and always ask yourself, how am I benefiting from this?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people try to coast by neutral and ride the fence, when in reality they don't realize they're benefiting from something.
Very true.
And
Very true.
that's what I think is the big thing for a lot of people, a lot of Black people, is like they don't realize that they're benefiting from like other people coddling them. They don't have to ever improve. They could just sit and be like, well, so and so is racist, and that's why I got fired from my job.
Yeah. Because you got every other people that are not you speaking for you and speaking on
Uh,
behalf of you, when in fact they're not actually going through any of the struggle, or zero of the struggles, or very minimum of the struggles that you're possibly going through.
yeah. And then a lot of people try to attribute it to failure. Well, just follow people who are more successful. The more successful person you follow, the better your outlook will be. It's like, kind of, but no, what you're doing is you're making it more complicated
Yeah.
by introducing like success into it. Like, who cares if you're successful? It's like, it's not the money. The money's not the issue. The success isn't the issue. It's who I am. Who I am. Am I okay being who I am?
Yeah.
It's like, no
And
amount of money can make me okay with who I am. It's like,
yeah.
and
It'll
people
make
miss the
it
point.
okay. It'll make it okay for all the cars and the houses and the couch, the new couch you could cry on and wrap your body around, basically. But it's not going to make it okay for you emotionally, mentally, and inside for the most part.
Yeah, because if I was the mayor of Seattle, I'd say, fuck it, let it burn. You know what? I'll move out of this mansion today. You guys can have it. Forget about it. You want that statue? Go ahead, take it. You want my mansion? Take it. I don't care. Do whatever it is that you want. This is not. This does not belong to me. Like, the thing that I do is like a civil service. It really shouldn't. It really shouldn't compel me to emote in any way.
Yeah, but
This kind of
with that,
the kind
though,
of stuff
see
that
the
I see
problem.
people do.
Yeah, but the problem with that, and the difference between you and the difference between her is she's a woman and she likes her McMansion. You, on the other hand, you realize as a man that this mansion doesn't make you. It's kind of like what they say, sit in that one movie, Players Club. Make the
Yeah,
money, don't let the money make you.
making. Yep.
Unfortunately, for women, money makes them, and for men,
I'll relate it
men
to the
men make
yeah,
money, and
go.
for women, money makes women.
True. I mean, it doesn't make all women, but yeah, I mean, it makes pretty much most of them. Like
Yeah,
the ones that
majority.
deal in the ones that deal in the system. You can't say that you're all wholesome when you pretty much let the dollar bill speak, and you let it speak for anybody. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you let it speak for your 7 kids. You let it speak for whoever whoever has the money. They do the talking for you, and to me, that just seems like a flawed mentality.
Yeah,
Other people would disagree with me, but hey, it is what it is.
I'm trying to find that blade. I'm trying to find that yellow flash video with
I
CHAZ
like
in
the
it.
color yellow. Wait, what? Oh, you're trying to find the footage of the thing
Yeah,
of them doing the shit.
where they're marching on her McMansion and stuff like that, and it actually shows the price of her mansion and shit. It was like the funniest thing in the world. I was cracking up. It wasn't Yellow Flash. It was I can't remember who it is. Oh my god.
And this, I mean, this just goes to show you, man, like how afraid of their own base the Democrats are.
Yeah, definitely.
And they paint their base out to be terrible people, but they are so in desperate need of their support that they
Hmm.
stoop so low as to bend the knee and put on that African scarf and do all this mask stuff with the COVID and get all the germaphobe hypochondriacs to vote for them and stuff. And like we said it before on our program, like Black lives don't matter, Black votes matter.
Yeah,
That's all that
black.
matters.
And I always said Black lives only haven't mattered since Black Wall Street or Rosewood or Seneca or any of those places. Since then, Black lives really don't matter. And before anybody get mad again, FYI, I'm Afro Latino. He's Filipino and black, so we both black, so we can actually speak for the shit.
Oh yeah, we're on Twitch.
Yeah,
I forget. There's a whole title card that comes with Baron Yam. You gotta read it. It's
yeah,
like two paragraphs long. But yeah, I'm black and Filipino. I am a man. I believe in positive masculinity, and sometimes that involves speaking the truth. And sometimes I speak about racial issues, and I do not have the same racial issues as people in my racial group. Disclaimer.
yeah.
And it's just to go back to the Democratic Party, like they paint people out to be just absolute idiots, and the problem is that they have people who believe they're idiots.
There are people
Speaking,
who believe that. Go
yeah,
ahead.
believe that they have people who believe in this philosophy that I'm ain't shit, I'll never be shit, and I will never have shit. And so, I mean, the red pill just kind of gets into that, but it it has everything to do with just like you have to understand people are indoctrinated. So like a regular person doesn't think that they're special. Doesn't think that they could be in a chosen few of people.
You
So
want to know something
they
sad?
yeah.
The father, the father, the father of a there was a shooting in Chop basically apparently, and the father of that child is on Fox News, and he's pleading with the public on the violence that happened to his children. So that lets me know right then and there that apparently they don't really care about Black Lives Matter if a black young man was shot and killed in CHAZ for the most part, or Chop
Well,
is what you're referring to now.
CHAZ is a nation, right? So
Yeah,
it's
he was shot and killed in Chop basically.
yeah. So that was like their first murder case. That nation's first murder.
And Dusty Trust, I like that. What's up, Dusty?
What's up, Dusty? How you doing, player? I'd actually like to hear from a lot of like American people just individually. What if they're a Democrat? Like, what makes you so much better than everybody else?
Yeah,
And depending on their reaction, I'll understand more who they are as a human being. Like, if you're like, well, I'm special. I have this trait. I have this talent. I have this. That makes me special. That makes me unique. That makes me. But the problem is, like, a lot of them don't want to do that. A lot of them would like to take your question and kind of virtue signal the best answer.
yeah, very
Like
true.
they're just trying to say the most publicly okay thing, which I understand because this whole thing that's going on with Twitch right now, like
Hmm.
the fact that they're getting a lot of lawsuits, that just shows that a lot of people feel ripped off
Yeah.
by like the service as a whole, which is just it's sad, but you could have seen it coming a long ways away.
Well, when you're getting something and you're making gains and you're getting something and
You're getting a
you're
little
getting everything
extra
you
something.
want. You're over and you're spoiled. You're a big fat spoiled brat. You tend to look the other way and not really pay attention to the fact that that this could collapse around you because you believe that everything will be okay and it would always
Well,
be okay because you live in this fantasy
bubble.
bubble. In other words,
So yeah, I get that. I understand. I
so you
understand.
go from
See, I understand where they're coming from. I understand where they're coming from with doing something like that because with Twitch, even though the terms are very written out, it's still like maybe I think I streamed a few videos on Twitch once.
mhm.
It's so easy to do. It's so like friendly, like user friendly. Anybody can get on
Yeah,
there and just start broadcasting away. I support people on Twitch. I support people who use Twitch. I would, because like they try to make a living out of doing something that they love. Hell, I've had a hard time doing that myself, and I could be on Twitch, but I just choose to stream to YouTube because that's like what I started to use it initially. But like I think if it's gonna be a actual thing in the future, if it's not just gonna like collapse under all this, it would have to change, its policy regarding that.
Mm-hmm.
It would have to be something where you could figure out if somebody's like fraudulently using your money or what, but that's without knowing like what really is going on behind the scenes of Twitch.
Yeah, true.
Because once if you were to know that, then it would be a whole different story.
Yeah,
be a whole different story, completely. So how much you want to bet they're gonna bring something up about sexual assault?
No, there were apparently a lot of rapes in CHOP, basically. But I guess apparently like that's not okay under any circumstance. But I guess if it's theirs, if it's their side, I guess that's all that matters to them. I guess.
I don't know about the rapes are. It'd be interesting to free because you and I haven't been to Seattle since then, right? I mean, so like the fact that we're calling calling what's happening there rapes, like I think people, and I don't know, but like my thought is just that if people are just having sex and then calling it rape, they probably are like. You also got to think about who's talking, who's there. It's just a bunch of like white people. So like they report rape cases a lot, like false rape cases a lot, out of the majority. So I mean, I'm sure they're happening, but you also have to remember these are liberals, feminists, and feminists are famously they're famously anti-rape in the streets, but then they're just like in the sheets. They basically ask for it.
Mm. Yeah, to some extent, definitely, I agree with you 100%. And it's like they say one thing, but behind closed doors, they mean another thing. And that's just sad when you can actually do that and think that or believe that or make it so that it's okay or argue that it's okay when in fact it's really not okay.
Yeah.
Like these are especially after I more so feel bad for the people who were living there who wanted nothing to do with this, who had no choice but to suffer through this for 3 weeks.
Wow. And if you think about it, like almost if you were the parents of one of those Twitch streamers that we won't mention the names to be nice, you'd probably be thinking to yourself like, wow, I like you were just living there, and all of a sudden you're so and so started doing this online stuff, started making a lot of money. You're just taking care of them, and then what the heck happened?
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
I feel kind of bad about putting people on blast like that, but it is what it is. You gotta deal with it. And I mean, if you lose the money that you made, well, big deal. You made some money. Money's not everything. It's time to pick up and move on from the situation like grown adults.
Yeah, true. It's sad though, but yeah, pretty much that's all you can really do.
That's all you can really do. So I mean, it's hard to ask feminists to grow up because you're telling them what to do, which they don't like,
True.
and second, you care about them and you want to help them better themselves, and they don't like that.
Yeah.
because they're indoctrinated. You gotta realize, like, most of them think that the best thing to do is what somebody yelling at them is telling them to do. And the light just
Yeah,
shut off in
I
my
agree
bed.
with
But it's just that's the way they think, and it never goes their way. Yet they don't like to listen to what a person's saying um, until they're just like they can't uh, emotionally handle it, and they're just like yelling at you. That's the only time they ever pay attention, basically.
you. Yeah, and that's sad within itself.
Hey, it's not.
I am literally
Um,
trying to find this daggone thing because he did a real good one, and I don't have to worry about sound because it's pretty much just all music, and it basically got a bunch of words. But the press secretary, um, slammed Seattle's CHAZ as a failed democratic, a failed democratic experiment. I actually like the press secretary, the new one. She's all that in a bag of chips. She's always on
McEnany,
point.
Matt,
Whatever the
yeah,
heck her name is, yeah.
yeah,
She
yeah,
always
yeah.
on point. She always got receipts and stuff like that. She cracked me up.
Man, she could
I've
talk
actually
about
never once.
something. Yeah,
Yeah,
she
she
like
always got receipts.
she's always got. She's like, well, if you look at
You're,
Exhibit
if you look
A,
at this day,
if
your
you would have
news
paid
channel said this,
attention,
that, and the other
it's
too.
kind of like Tico. She's kind of like
Yeah,
Tico Trent. She's like, I pay attention. No, actually,
the white blonde Tico trend,
I only
white
said
blonde girl
basically
Tico
8 times.
trend. Yeah,
She's like the white American Tico Trent, whereas like Rose's the white
yeah.
British Tico Trent.
Yeah,
That's too funny.
literally. That was some. Yeah, she cracks me up. She's always putting people on blast and is always telling people what it is and what it ain't. Basically, she is funny. I be sitting there like, oh, she told you, she
Yeah, exactly.
told
Shut up.
you.
Shut up,
She'd be like,
MSNBC.
President Trump did this, that, and the other, this, that, and the other, this, that, and the other. Well, here on June 29th, 18 at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, it says that you did the same thing. I'll be cracking up. She be putting them on blast. And Barron fell out. So we'll wait for to come back basically as I'm looking for this lovely thing. There it goes.
The
Heard the
Hispanic
sound.
population was 46.3287% of that voting bloc. So you can't even tell me you
Right?
can't even tell me that it didn't represent the people of it did on March 1st, 2020. So
Yeah, right.
you so y'all have to
You, my friend, are a bull-faced lie.
she
Right?
should be able to okay, so if the president can't like be all 100%, but she can swear. She's allowed to swear during the press
There it
secretary
goes.
conference. She'd be like, y'all are some dumb motherfuckers.
Yeah, literally. She is a trip.
Uh,
She be
yeah,
cracking
that'll
me
be
up.
fun.
I just look at her and be like, okay. That's who it was. Memology. It was memology.
Memology be having some good video
Yeah,
clips.
memology cracks me up. I like memology. He is the he is the sheezy. Oh, here it goes. It's right here. Let me share this one because it's the funniest stuff in the whole entire world. Now, commercials much? I forgot memology has a bunch of commercials on this stuff. Here he goes.
Are you got it up right now? Sorry. Boop,
It
boop.
just got some music.
I like that. Chaz the finale. That's nice. It's like, see what what I was telling you. It's a theater, or
Yeah,
sorry,
literally.
it's a
And they're
musical.
marching. Yeah, and they're marching on her house right now as we speak.
Yeah, it's like straight out of Hamilton. They could even make the same casting thing complaints about that they made at Hamilton. Like more of the people
Yeah,
should have
look at
been
that. White
black.
people, white people, white people, more
Boo.
white people.
It's like
Lady
if you
hide
take the
behind that
march
signs
on,
a white lady,
if you
white
take
lady,
the,
white guy, white
if you
guy,
take
white
the,
guy, white lady, white
ugh.
lady, white lady, white lady, white lady, white guy, white guy, white guy, white
Zero
lady.
in with the white lady, white lady, white lady.
Yeah, white lady, white lady, white guy,
It's like
white guy, white guy.
if you
That guy
took the
might be an Asian.
if you took the march on what is it, Birmingham, Alabama, when they or Montgomery, Alabama,
Yeah,
when they
something like that.
marched. If you
Well,
just took
imagine
that
they
and
marching
put
on
it
her
in
house.
Seattle, I know, yeah. If you just put it at Seattle and filled it with a bunch of white people, that's basically what this is. That's what they think this is.
Yeah. They're literally walking through this gated community, mind you. We're here on indigenous and black lands, quote
Land.
unquote.
Indigenous and black land. That's funny that they called it that. Because that's so funny. Wow. It looks like a nice community to live in.
It's a very nice community. Her house
Yeah.
cost $7.5 million. Here we go. Yep. See, look, she didn't like it a bit. She didn't like it one bit.
It was at
The
this
mayor.
point she knew she fucked
It's
up.
a, yeah, it's at this point she knew she had fucked up. She had fucked up very badly.
Yeah.
Let's see. 6 shootings, two team deaths. See, look at that shit. That's just fucked up. 6 shootings, 2 team deaths, and all this within CHAZ basically. Oh, and the mayor said it was a festival, an arts festival, quote unquote, that was happening there. So that's how she was able to leave it there and leave it under the guise it was an art festival. The CHAZ, then the CHAZ took over her 500 square foot home worth $7.6 million after her new additions to her house. Okay, now first off, $7.6 million.
She just got that Nancy Pelosi fridge installed in the
Right,
kitchen. So
right. Obviously, she
she's
got
like,
that Nancy
"Damn,
Pelosi.
man, the ice cream, set up," and then you come take it.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's all fun and games to do it in certain neighborhoods, but when it comes to her neighborhood, it's not all fun and games anymore. And now all of a sudden, we got to stop this now, and it went too far.
Unbelievable.
And she brought the
Unbelievable.
police after she got condemned Trump for wanting to send the police. Ain't that some shit? Which is, yeah, look, see, all it took to end was a peaceful protest to visit the mayor's home. Like, think about that. Like, for the protest to completely end, all it took was them to march on her house, basically, and stand outside her house and act stupid like they were. And the funny thing about that whole entire protest, no black people, barely or if any black people were in that protest because there would have probably been a lot more shootings, there would have been a lot more a little bit dead, there would have probably been a lot more. Yeah, basically, Karen got mad and marched on the house, basically. All the Karen and Tyler and
And
Kyle
Trent and
and
Kent.
Trent, Karen, Kyle, Trent, Bob from accounting, Luann from Poughkeepsie.
Come on, Jake. Come on, Jason.
Right?
Let's go.
All
Let's go
marched
to
on the
their
mayor's
house.
house.
Did you bring your sign? Yeah,
Yeah,
I got
you
my
forgot your sign.
names.
Don't worry, I'll make another one for you, Chaz.
It's okay. We'll
Hey,
take
your name is the
somebody.
same name as our town, Chaz.
I'm gonna get one of the cops'
Look at
guns
this. Look at this.
due to opening violence and public safety issues. The East Precinct Cal Anderson Park area sounds so regal.
Yeah, I know, right?
I know, right? Jenny Durkin has issued an executive order.
Right?
Yo, bro, this is straight out of
From her seven $6 million
Hamilton.
from her $7.6 million home.
Is
She
Twitter
entered.
in on this too? Is this some kind of like big old like theater production? Because they have like a lot of those people probably are theater arts majors,
I'm willing to bet any money they are.
or they're singers, or they're
Memology is actually really
songwriters.
good at his production too, though. Oh,
performance
shout out to
art,
memology for this.
ghetto gaggers or something. Somebody is out there, and they are
Yeah.
acting because
See? She was angry. She even involved the feds. She even got the fed. She even got the feds involved. Check that crap out.
me no likey. Me involve government.
Look at that. They all rode all up in the town. Look at that.
I just want to wait. Let me just get a close up of one of the officers, and they should pause it, and they just have the deal with it glasses, like they go.
Right?
Arrested.
Look, they
And
all
then do
showed
like
up. They showed
do
up in
the
full force,
GTA,
looking
do
like
the
pimps and
GTA
shit.
like wasted.
The cops came out looking like pimps. They got their little
Yeah,
pimp sticks.
they're like bet. Bring that sign to this riot gear, pimp.
Wait. I want everybody to notice all the people that's being arrested. You notice those two that you just walked by conveniently?
White.
Right.
That
But
guy's Dylan. That guy's name was Dylan.
That guy probably name was
Stephen.
Dylan, and the guy before him name was probably Steve.
Mark.
Stephen Dylan
Mark.
or Stephen Mark. They got Mark, pimp. They got
Keep
Mark.
going, guys. They got Mark.
Right?
Mark had the weed. Shit.
Right?
Shit.
They got my boy Marco.
Well, I can't stay much longer. They got Marco too.
Right?
Hey, if the weed's gone, I'm gone. The weed's gone, I'm gone. I'm out this protest.
Now they told him to disperse. Now we all know if it was black people,
Exit
that wouldn't
stage
even have
left.
been a thing right there. That would not have been a thing.
They would not have politely asked to disperse.
Oh
They
hell
would be
no!
like,
Oh hell no!
Colleen, your mom wants you back for soccer practice. Trent, go back home. You're no longer wanted. You know,
The one black guy, one random black guy walking through going to school and shit.
If it was black
because the
people,
chick's on Black Lives Matter chick.
They would not
That's
even
the Black Lives
they would
Matter
not
chick
even
right
have
there.
bothered. They would not have taken the megaphone.
Oh, look at that. They're putting a porta potty in front of it. Like, that's really going to do something. Now, mind you, it's all white people putting porta potties in front of shit.
They're like, they can't arrest you because that's not racist. It's like if they
and those porta potties ain't do shit.
The cops are like, okay, you just turned over a bucket of shit.
Well, that makes sense. Let me tell ya. Oh, that was so hurt. That was so hurt. I'm so hurt by this. Meteorology with his
goofy ads. Nice ads though. Did you play something of war? Anyways, dude, if it would have been black people, they would have rolled up. Bane would have rolled up in the Batmobile truck. He'd be like, "Hello, citizens of CHAZ. I now run your city."
Another white guy getting arrested. Talk about Black Lives Matter and shit.
You know, in time.
That's the weed man right there.
But the media won't care. They'll just go on like nothing happened. I can't believe they graffitied the.
I like the cops with their pimp sticks right here though. Look, they looking like they coming out of a 50 Cent. I got the magic stick.
And I can hit once.
I'm a PIMP. It look like a bunch of pimps. PIMP. Don't know what you heard about me. Get a dollar out of me. They look like pimps. Look, he even got the pimp pose. Look at that. He got the Ron Isley pimp pose.
Exactly.
Look at him. He got the Ron Isley pimp pose.
Yeah.
Like they ready to go. They ready to go. He got the Ron Isley pimp pose.
You can tell they they're very comfortable around each other for this op.
Yeah, for real.
It's like years of training have prepared them. It's like
just an FYI, no black people were harmed during this whole entire thing. It was just a bunch of white people that got harmed, if any.
So it's not even a race issue. This is just an organization issue.
But you'll probably hear in the news that it was all black people that were like, they'll probably say that it was a bunch of black people and they got harmed and they were killed or they were injured, crazy basically.
Yeah, this is what happens when you make type A people politicians.
Yeah.
And when you give them political offices and duties and responsibilities. They turn into
Like
this.
they literally took over this city, and none of these motherfuckers actually lived there. All the people that actually lived there had to suffer through
So
this for
like,
like
okay,
3 straight weeks.
on Monday, there's the cafe putsch where we go in and we talk about the things, and then on Tuesday we got food co-op where we give money to the homeless people and then we extort the businesses. And then
Yeah.
on Wednesday we got training day we all we all run around the block a bunch of times, shit on some cop cars. We just we try to make sure that we're all in line. And then on Thursday we all march on the mayor's house. Come on, everybody, let's go.
Now the funny thing about this is the rest of this video you're actually going to see the people who actually live there starting to come out of their house and enjoy their lives again after being held up in their houses by all these hooligans taking over their city.
Yeah.
They're going to start to see like the people who actually lived there, like that kid who was actually going to college.
Yep, heard about that. Tragic.
Now he's got to clean up the damn sidewalk and shit from all the bullshit that they did. He's a black guy. He's going back to work finally. We're open because their window's broken at the bottom, so they had to put that there. You're going to see all the regular citizens there going back to their merry way.
That dude done hauled all of his furniture out of his house and is finally moving his stuff back here. He's like, no,
yeah, he's like, I'm out. I'm done. I ain't doing this no more. And the same part about he suffered through that for 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
BLM. Pause that right there. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I know. The funny thing about that BLM right there, just like a lot of the cities, probably a white woman wrote that. But a white person wrote spray painted that on there.
That does not look like black people handwriting. That looks like Karen's handwriting, dude.
You think Karen's handwriting or Cal's
Karen
handwriting?
Definitely wrote that.
Or Cal's handwriting.
or Ken. Or Brent.
Look, now the people of Seattle are going back to their daily lives now.
Brent wouldn't be down with that shit.
Another Seattlean, another Seattlean going back. She's walking her dog. She's going wherever she's going. Somebody coming out to see what the hell's going on.
It's like, thank God, right?
Now, apparently, it's somewhere in this, you're going to start to hear, like, I think it's either the police chief or the captain of police. Yeah, that's because they were all trapped in their houses with all these dumbasses running around their city. That's pretty much what it was. They were all trapped in their houses with all these dumbasses running around their city.
I did not know how bad. I did not understand how bad it was. I don't have a TV. I don't own a TV, so I did not know that it was literally that bad. And
people in Seattle, people in a small town in Seattle enjoying their lives finally ever again now. You got Chopper, probably 11 up, Bay News 9 Chopper there.
And now everything they're all gone, and there's no more white people prowling the streets of Seattle. Back to you.
Right? Back to you, Karen, in the office.
The white people have gone, and it seems like
look, that's the best part. That's how you know you live in a neighborhood. That's how you know you live when the people live in a neighborhood. This is how you know when people live in a neighborhood. Wait, hey, Trent, hey, Bob, what's up? I get to come back outside family. I'm riding my new moped, Bob. I'm riding my new moped, Bob. I got to bring it up, right? Shit.
And then to replace the statues, we have the art of the politically incompetent.
See, now they're getting rid of all the barricades. Basically, you'll hear the cop come out and say, "We plan on having all the barricades removed by Sunday."
Nice.
Let me try to put on the thing before he busts out of nowhere. I'm gonna try to put on the
let's see.
Captions, yeah, because this is where the only time you'll see somebody talk. And
CHAZ. Don't mute it, YouTube. Don't mute your own audio just for your another user's live stream. It's not worth it. Not in the slightest. Somebody's got to throw a barbecue birthday bash for the city of Seattle. They finally got out of this.
It's not going to let me turn it on. Okay, so probably Memology don't got that on this thing. Okay.
There has to be some sort of like lifetime cotton candy supply we could give to the people of like the
Look,
government
he ain't got
or like
nothing to
the
say.
police.
He got nothing to say.
He wasn't talking.
No, he wasn't talking. He just looked at him and just looked back. He has officers over this shit too. You're going to see the officers happy to be back home. He's basically talking about removing the barriers. If you can't read that, yeah, as you can see right here.
Yeah,
it's Russian TV
today.
based. Yes, Russian TV. The Dutch branch, Deutsche branch. They're removing all the barriers and shit. Definitely sub to Memology. Make some really good shit. Memology's the shit. Yeah, sub to my homie Memology right here.
Shout out to Memology for sponsoring this video. It's like nom 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 nom. Free
right,
berry
Pac-Man over here. Pac-Man over here.
It's like, this is the most fun I've had since I had this job. They're
right,
like,
literally.
Right, pick up these wooden pylons for,
Yeah, police have to be
15
taking the
years.
precinct. Look, they're happy to be back in their precinct.
Mm. They're like, is the sandwich I still had there in the fridge? Oh, no, they took that shit. It's like, fuck those niggas. That's so awesome. That's so awesome. Like, dude, they got to throw a pizza party. Somebody's got to.
Yeah, they literally do.
Buy all that pizza that they got delivered. Dude, I swear to God, that reminded me of like being on set, like when you're in pre-production and, they just order in a bunch of pizzas. Everybody's chilling, hanging out. Like, that's what I thought CHAZ was, but they were actually fucking people up. I thought it was a musical this whole time. I really honestly did.
This is the mayor of Seattle, Jenny Durkin.
Oh yeah, I know what she looks like. She is.
She's very white.
She's got a good face. She's got a good face for BLM. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
She's got a good face for BLM.
She looks so BLM.
Yeah. Now and then like if the cops showed up and would actually like discriminate against her, and then like she started to resist, and then they
that would be funny. That would have made that story all types of funny.
She would have been like, it's like when hoisted away, Jenny Durkin actually yelled out, "Black Lives Matter! I can't breathe! Don't shoot!
Don't shoot!" Right?
And her life was ended tragically as the cops curb stomped her for causing all this for co-signing
on all this BS.
Right? Back to you, Chico.
Right? She deserved it.
I swear to God. If McEnany ever gets fired, we got to have her on the Tico Trend channel.
Right?
She lost her job. It's like, it's okay. Just spit the facts here. You're wanted. You're very much wanted.
For real.
We need you desperately. The press secretary.
Definitely.
And they're trying to blame. Like, I don't. It's just so strange, dude. Because they will like when. Okay, so Ben Shapiro, he tried to come speak at my school once, and they denied him. And then after the provost or whatever reapplied for it, they set a ridiculously high security qualification, like a certain dollar amount, and just to deter him from even coming. And then he's like, I'm not coming. And like that whole thing to me when I was going through college, I was like, what? I don't know what to believe. This is ridiculous. Like, this is outrageous. And like it just all seemed kind of like a joke to me at the time. But like thinking about it, that's the way that they all view Trump now. Like, Trump can't come to their state. Like they just say like, I don't want you here.
Well, if anytime you're right leaning, anytime
Yeah.
you're right leaning, they basically view you like they view Trump for the most part. It don't matter if you're black, white, Chinese, Puerto Rican, or Asian. It don't matter
Puerto
if you're
Rican,
Jewish.
Asian.
It don't matter if you're Jewish, African. It don't matter if you're Muslim. It don't matter if you have a right leaning. They basically are against you no matter what.
Yeah. If you're Muslim, they have a they have some way reason not to like you, and that's why I think it's so strange about them.
Yeah,
It's like they're not really partisan. They're more just sycophant
yeah, they
and like
very much are.
enablers of each other's poor standard for critical thinking strategies. And like I just feel like the fact that I mean, we were just talking about McEnany, like he has a press secretary that helps him do that. He has like a team on that. But if they had more of a say in it, he would be just like Ben Shapiro trying to come to my school. Like they would ask for a freaking a piece of his, they would ask for flesh, like
Mm-hmm.
if they were given that opportunity, because like that's how it is with these people. It's like you give them an inch, they take a mile,
Mm-hmm.
and they abuse your kindness and your willingness to help, and they consider it abuse, and they consider it over controlling. And it's like, just
Yeah,
because Ben Shapiro wanted to come to our college and start telling people stop being a hoe and like focus on your schooling, like a bunch of people wanted to get go fucking retarded and yell in the cafeteria about it. It's
yeah,
just like, what drives these people? And it's like, can I get that and sell that? Because I would be a fucking billionaire. Are you kidding me? I have
right,
so much fucking money
right.
if I actually had that shit. And I just think that the way people uh the way people talk on that side of the thing is just like, I will always consider myself to be like more classically liberal, but I just will not ever
I just
call
caught this
myself a
comment.
Democrat again,
Twitch simps
unless
for
it's
thoughts. That kind of reminds me of Toys for Tots.
Twitch Sims for thoughts. Yes,
Toys for
Sims
Tots.
are us. Sims are us. It was like you don't even like the gaming community is like this wide thing. Like it goes from like 4 years old to freaking all like an old timer. You know, uh, Uncle Regis is playing games right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like such a wide out. And then the fact that it's like MGTOW and Red Pill has been all about this like sex and stuff. It's like, when do we break off from sex being the most important thing? Or like, why is my life bad because I haven't had this many sexual partners and stuff? It's like, when are we gonna actually start thinking about like mature things as human beings, as society? And
True story.
I always have to ask that question, because it always needs bringing up, because literally everywhere you go, in terms of like public opinion, like, I like YouTube creators who just focus on their stuff, whether it be they like to actually make content about something specific, or they have a particular art style that they really would like to exhibit for other people. That stuff is totally fine. But like, I don't know, it gets crazy when you start talking about sex, because that's all I think about when I think about my schooling, was that it was all about um, orientating us to talk about sex topics, and like the opposite sexes, and like battle of the sexes, and like, oh, each orientation group gets a male and a female. It's just so timid towards the subject as a whole, and it was like just lazy. It was like they're playing with a loaded gun, because sex is like a really important thing
Yeah,
in terms of like men and like human beings. It's a really important, but just in terms of like men and women, out of all the things we provide for each other, that's like a really touchy subject that ought to be discussed at home. And like
definitely.
it doesn't get discussed at home, and instead like the schools decide to talk about it, which is sad. It's just sad, the level that we've like fallen as a society.
Yeah.
But it's true. No, nobody's going to blame universities for the way that they've adapted to the times. But hey, if at the end of the day it can all get traced back to you, you're gonna have to pay back what you owe. And like,
Pay
I
your
don't think a
fee.
lot.
Pay your fee.
Exactly. You're gonna have to, at some point, it's like they have to pay all that back. because they made a mistake. Obviously, they chose the wrong thing to focus on, but it's still it wasn't. It's not your money,
True
and
story.
you didn't do anything to earn that. You basically hired a bunch of college or like failed academics, which is sad, and it does it. They're inspired by political things that a child would think is stupid or asinine.
Yeah,
It's
true.
like trying to explain this MGTOW stuff to a child. It's like it would be like trying to tell a dog that it's a dog. It's like if you were to tell some kid right now, uh, always do good by yourself, love yourself, and believe in yourself, the kid would be like, "The hell are you talking about? I already do that. Like, what are you trying to tell me what to do?" Like a kid, if you have a kid's always gonna do what it do it be themselves because that's all they know.
True
But
story.
we got grown adults that don't understand that concept.
Very true.
Yes, MGTOW in the win. The whole facade is over. It's almost as if CHOP, the nation, the state, the
Never even
principality,
existed.
the country, the heart, the blood of Seattle never even existed in the first place. It's gone they're just like sweeping the dust and the debris off of the stage and they're clearing it for what they're gonna put up there. Next. What's up next? They got to make something to cover up for all of the shit that's going on with Donald Trump. Oh, they got to do it. They're gonna do it. What's next? Go to the intermission.
Yeah. And the sad part about that, the thing that bothers me the most about this is she bashed Trump so hard about wanting to bring in a National Guard, and it's a peaceful protest, or it's a peaceful art show, or whatever the heck they wanted to call it, basically. Then all of a sudden, as soon as that
Well,
peaceful
I
art
think
show
yeah,
showed up in her neighborhood, now she want to bring out force because the peaceful art show showed up in her own damn neighborhood. Like, think about
well, the
that stuff.
National Guard
This
gets
is how
crap
much.
from the left. Like we even have like Kanye West saying like George Bush doesn't care about black people when it's like the National Guard was helping people out during the
Yeah,
during the. Is you always have like these like this dog these it's like not dog whistling, but they're like you have these trained barkers for the party that just get are trained to get pissed at police. It's
hmm
like they are not pissed at police for all of the first 2 years of the Trump administration. Then all of a sudden, in the 3 years, and then all of a sudden during election year, now everybody's like, we gotta do something. It's like why don't you understand that that's what
why,
they
why,
need you
why
there
are we
for?
talking about this in like the first 3 years?
Yeah, like there was people
Where was
getting killed,
everybody
like
out the first 3 years?
Philando Castile, he got shot. Um, Trey, the young kid that had like the fake gun or something, he was pointing in the park. I remember that one. And like
hmm
no one did anything about those. No one was in the streets protesting and rioting.
The black guy
So
that
why
went
are they?
shopping for his children and
The
got
black guy
shot,
that went
basically.
shopping and got shot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like all those people died. Yeah, yeah, they died, and you forgot about that. And then until the time where you're activated, and then now you can't stop talking about them.
Yeah. Now all of a sudden
It's like, do you have any understanding of
now
how your
we care
mind
about all
works?
these people now, which is sad when you really didn't care about none of them at all. It kind of reminds me of the whole entire time when I was talking about the one nurse, the one nurse that was actually at the hospital, and the cop overexerted his power
And
because he
she
didn't want
dodged the
to.
bullet. She dodged.
She actually
She
didn't.
took.
She basically said, "I'm not going to draw his blood. He's unconscious, and I'm not going to take blood from an unconscious person." And because she refused to draw the blood of that man, the cop literally put her in the car, arrested her, put her in handcuffs, and took her off the job and arrested her. Like, stuff like this happens so often. Or like my favorite one that gets swept under the rug was the fucking yoga mom. The yoga mom, she heard a noise in her alleyway behind her house. Then, the cops show up. They ask her, does she own a gun, or she own a permit for a gun, and this, that, and the other. They said yes. 5 seconds later, she's dead. And she's the one that called him because she heard a noise in our alleyway. And it's stuff like this that just blows my mind whenever people say, "Oh, well, these people right here." Okay, what about this woman?
Maybe
What about
it was
that
the
woman?
cops. Maybe
What about
the cops
what about
wearing her
what about the
back.
Asian guy on it? What about the Asian guy versus the TSA guys when they bloodied his mouth trying to get him off the plane? What about him? Does he deserve some? And the sad part about that, this just doesn't happen to black people. This happens all across the board to everybody.
And hidden, it's like it's the tap dancing. Have you ever seen the movie Bamboozled? Spike Lee. It's like they the bad guy is tap dancing in blackface, right? And then like white and black people a lot together are laughing at it and enjoying it when it's a show. But when it's not a show, they want to act all doom and gloom about it.
Yeah.
And like that's what we have with this whole political system. It's like CHOP. Everybody's talking about CHOP. Or actually nobody was talking about CHOP. Now COVID-19. Everybody's trying to ignore that and, quote unquote, live their best life. But at the end of the day,
another thing that bothers me the most about that whole entire thing is during all these protests, during all this bullshit that was going on, none of the officers actually had on masks. Somebody please explain that to me. Not even, a couple of the cops had, no, they didn't. Actually, the ones that were standing up there looking like PIMP didn't. With their pen sticks.
Yeah.
But like even all the riots, like even the one with the cops that were like arresting the guy at the Wendy's, the cops that were there that knocked over the 70-something-year-old man, 80-something-year-old man, and he busted his head open and he bled out. Like they weren't wearing any mask.
So like they want to be identified. If you think about it, like with like CCTV, they're the only people that actually can be identified. Everybody else is just, like a subject or like a person.
Yeah. And the sad part about it, you got all these other people running around with masks on doing stupid shit all the damn time. But the cops don't got no mask on. Hell, when a lot of the speakers and governors and mayors all speak, they're not wearing any mask. Hell, even the press secretary for Trump's not wearing a mask when she speaks. But everybody in the crowd's wearing a mask, but the press secretary is not wearing one. Like, think about this. This. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sound got quiet again. Out of nowhere.
Sorry. The what was I saying? I was saying the signer. She can't have a mask on because the way that her mouth, the way that you emote with your lips, like read, the way that deaf people read lips, is, and they need to not wear a mask. And the people who speak, they need to. They got
a sign language. They got a person that's speaking sign language. They got a person back there doing sign language right behind the person, and the person that's doing the sign language I don't think they even wear masks.
They don't wear. Well, they're not. They can't because it would actually prevent them from being able to communicate properly.
Well, yeah, but the sad part about that is the press secretary's not wearing one either.
Yeah,
the press secretary's not wearing one. But the sad part about that, when they go to ask, when the governor's not wearing one, but the sad part about that, when they answer questions from the crowd, they're all wearing masks. So that throws that whole entire deaf people out the window when they're all wearing masks, and the people who are signing aren't wearing the mask. And the person actually speaking ain't wearing a mask. But the person asking the questions in the news people are asking questions are wearing masks. Like, think about that. Like, so how bad is this? How important is this really? How serious is this really? Is it just to scare everybody out of doing stupid shit? Is it to scare people to stay into their house?
Well, when you think about like Mice Utopia experiments, like they had a lot of data that they got when they were like studying the rats or the mice in the maze, like the mouse encampment, and they found out a lot about olfactory processes and the way that like they use, because their noses are much more advanced than human beings' noses. But like if we all cut off our sense of smell slightly by putting on masks, wouldn't that be harder for us to detect bullshit and detect when we're not when we don't like somebody, or like when it does affect that factory. Yeah, like
It
your
does
whole
affect it
system
when you actually got
is
when
off.
you got your
Because
nose
like
covered,
sometimes
basically.
when I like with some people, I will be like kind of hormonally, you're just more off put by them. But that's like a lot. You rely on your senses a lot to pick up that stuff, to become conscious of that stuff. Like the
Yeah, it
way that
affects
we
that.
normally,
It affects
yeah,
that factory. And like a good example of that is the best way to describe wearing a mask and walking around like a goofball all over the damn place with a mask on would be equivalent to if somebody threw a flashbang in front of your face.
yeah, because you have no idea what's going on. Like I think I can be snuck up on easier when I have the mask on. It's just like a result of my like
Mm-hmm.
my senses, like what I'm sent like. Because don't get me wrong, people are truthful when they say like it's hard to hear you, or it's hard for me to hear you when I have the
With the
mask
mask,
on.
no,
Yeah,
or the sad part about that is hard for people to hear you speak when you got the mask on too.
yeah.
Like
So it's hard. It then becomes
I
harder
don't
for
know
me
how
to
many times I had to repeat
communicate with them.
myself at a store or anywhere because they can't hear me through a fucking mask. Like, wait, what? What do you mean? We gotta wear these. We wear these for a reason. Obviously not. We don't wear these for a reason because now I got to answer this question over and over again. And I said, how much was that again? What is the price of today? What? No, how much is this again? The weather for today? Like, lady, what?
No, no.
What?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What?
It becomes frustrating. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, and it's
What
good
was the
that
price of
customer.
that?
It's good that most. I think it's good that most customer service jobs are out of are not being held today because it would make a person not ever want to sell anything that they're selling ever again because of the how taxing it is to actually communicate with people with the masks on.
Oh yeah,
Like it
definitely shit.
literally adds. It'll be my first gray hair, definitely.
Shit. I'm happy that they got online shopping because I get all the shit delivered to my damn house. Fuck that shit. I ain't got time to be repeating myself over and over again. I could just have it FedEx to my house. FedEx UPS or DHL or whoever the hell sending the shit. I can have it all sent to my damn house.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind having the mask on. Yeah, because sometimes my breath be
I do
high, and
mind
so I
because,
don't.
like I said, if I'm going to go shopping, I'm going to be out in public. I got to deal with stupid people who conveniently can't hear,
I don't
whose
want to be
job is
sweaty.
customer service. I don't feel like repeating myself over and over
Yeah,
again.
exactly.
Well, you have to wear a mask. Well, I'm gonna need you to listen up. You need me to do what? Listen up. You want a cup? No, listen up, bitch. Like
No,
damn.
no, no, you can't fuck me. I'm spoken for. Okay, fuck it. I forget. I give up.
Yeah,
Just
for real. Like,
I'm gonna. Okay, so like literally, you're making me want to just steal this instead of pay for it.
legit.
Yeah.
Like you make you, like I don't know how many times I just shook my head like I'm done with this. I'm done with this. I hate everybody. I hate everybody. I hate you. I hate the guy standing behind me. I hate this goofy person standing behind the counter because obviously they can't hear. Like it just pisses me off when I got to go out and deal with public. Like especially when I got to wear the mask at a store. Like you know what?
Especially when
Fuck it.
she's
I don't
got a
even want.
really
I'll
annoying
be in there
voice
like
like,
fuck this. I don't even want this shit no more. Literally, I've
what
walked out
did
of the
I
store
do?
multiple times.
What did I do? I didn't do anything. Huh? Did you say something?
And I'm like,
What?
fuck this. I'm out. And I literally walked out of the store.
I don't know what that sound is, but it was perfect. It was perfect timing.
Yeah, me neither.
Sounds weird. It sounds like an alien signal, like we're being communicated to from the CHAZ aliens.
Right? CHAZ aliens.
This is
But yeah.
CHAZ. Put down the StreamYard. Listen to my voice. Subscribe to Tico Trends. Subscribe to Baron Yam. Do it. Obey. Obey the call.
Follow Trend Labs on Twitch.
Follow Trend Labs music. It comes
On
from
Twitch.
fucking Cthulhu.
It just stopped
Commands
literally after
you.
we said all that. It literally just stopped after we said all that. Oh no, it started back up again. Oh, shoot, that's too funny.
Subscribe. Cthulhu commands you to subscribe.
Right? Mm-mm-mm.
I think that these people are, like I said, I think that they're actors. I think that they really wanted to be in the next Avengers movie, but the COVID happened, so they're like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna go to Seattle." Like
Right, we're marching on Seattle.
it's like a normal thing. Like I could totally see somebody doing that, being like, you know what? I can't be Black Panther's side chick. I'm just gonna go to CHAZ.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can be something there.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be X um XX men. I can't be LGBT men. So I just gotta go. I can't be in the next X-Men movie where it's all women, X women. So I'll just be, I'll just become a marcher. Marcher number one.
Right. At Chaz or Chop.
Marcher number one at CHAZ. And like you're gonna see that on the resume too, because that's
They
what they want
swept
to
away.
participate.
Did he say they
They want
swept
a
away Chop
participation
and
trophy.
coronavirus is back with jazz hands? I like
Jazz
that.
hands.
Yeah, I
And
like
that's why
that
I
jazz
mentioned the
hands.
movie. That's why I mentioned Bamboozle, because that's what it's like. It's
Uh-huh.
like where it's like, oh, what's tragedy is next, because the restaurants are done being like, oh, it's so hard to be a restaurant during the COVID. It's like, okay, now most people are just pretty much sick of wearing the mask. Now what are you gonna do? How are you gonna make money? It's like, oh, people are allowed to wear masks in this gym. It's like, okay, if they are, I'm not spending my money here anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's like most people are gonna vote with their wallet, and then what's gonna be like? Where's the success? How's the success gonna motivate you to adapt?
Mm-hmm.
Is the question I would ask them. Um, that noise is still in your microphone.
Yeah, I hear it too. I don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah, like you're turning into like cyborg Tico. It's like Skynet. You're like, I must kill all
I don't think that's
uh,
actually me. I think that's more or less the
demons.
connection. I think that's more the
Yeah.
connection than me.
Red pill Dusty. Smack face. Sigh face. Laugh face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, the sad part about that is like I feel bad for the people. I don't feel bad for the marchers or the protesters. I feel bad for the people who actually had to endure that for 3-4 weeks in Chaz. The people who actually lived there, who had lives, who had their livelihoods, and pretty much were all trapped there. All those idiots that were took over that whole entire city block. All 6 to 8 city blocks, basically, depending on which way it went. I feel bad for all the people that actually had to live there. All 500 of those residents that had to endure that for 3 fucking weeks. 3 weeks.
I do
That's
feel bad
sad.
when I think about that. Yeah, I do feel really
That is
bad when I
sad.
think about that.
Like they
Because if it
basically
was me,
the mayor basically the mayor basically put their lives in jeopardy, put their livelihoods in jeopardy, put all the
yeah,
stores
that was
that the
definitely
store
me for
owners
sure.
and the store
That's
shops
definitely
livelihoods in jeopardy. They also put they literally turned those citizens over to
me.
a bunch of idiots.
And like I said, and there's people out there that are willing to play the role
Yeah.
of the
And then the
idiot.
sad part about that, the one black kid that actually got shot, he actually lives in Chaz. He's actually a resident of Chaz. He was minding his fucking business and got shot.
Yeah, and this has
It's just
happened to this is like normal nowadays.
yeah, no, but the sad part about it, he wasn't shot by no police. He was shot by one of them idiots.
Yeah, I know. Like people see you stunting on Instagram, and then they just come roll up on you and clip you because they're jealous, or like stuff like that happens now all the time. And it's sad that like nobody wants to mention it until it's a freaking election year.
Oh yeah. Now the
And like I
Democrats
said,
want to be on their knees kneeling for
see
black people
this is
wearing
why this is
scars
why
that are from Africa that they know nothing
yeah.
about. They decided to all
And
go
this
buy these scars and go kneel in front of like a bunch of kneel in solace with black people. Like, dude, come on now, quit pandering. That's so depressing. That's so
You're like, this
demeaning and
stuff
so fucking
happens all
retarded.
the time, dude. Stop. It's like when you hear red pill content creators say, maintain frame, bro. It's like, that's what I want to tell some of these politicians all the time, because it's like, and I'm not just talking about the men, the males, the men's either. I'm just saying in general, it's like, when something bad happens in the country, it doesn't matter what time it is in the fucking election campaign. You need to act like everything is like okay. You can't just be like getting emotional like and doing crazy
Well, you
pandering
also have to take
stuff like
consideration
what they're
too.
doing
This is
now.
the election year, so they waited
Yeah,
to the election year to do this bullshit, basically.
really, like if they kneeled every May for like Africans,
Or
I would
now,
maybe feel
it'd be mad different if every single time a black person died in America,
everybody kneeled.
all the
Yeah,
politicians basically kneeled the next day or did 2 days after, basically. Then I'd be like,
yeah, yeah.
okay, black person
I'm
died,
like,
all
damn,
the
that would be
politicians are
hard.
kneeling.
To just
Cool.
keep kneeling, going back up and down, up and down. Like I would feel bad for them because they had to do it, put in some
Yeah,
extra
like
back work.
I would actually say, okay, I can commend you for doing that. However, if you're going to be kneeling during an election year over one black person, then you're just pandering. You're really just pandering. That's all it really is you're just pandering. And that's sad. That's very sad. That's annoying and pathetic. You're basically begging for a vote on your hands and knees. You're groveling on your knees for a fucking vote from the black people.
No,
Black
no,
people don't
Tico.
want to be groveled to.
I'm
Black people
respecting the
don't want to be
Muslim
groveled to.
culture.
Black people actually
I'm
want shit to actually happen and
I'm
change. They don't want to be
prostrating.
groveled to.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's something that I hate is when someone gives you praise when it isn't earned.
Hmm.
That always bugs me because, like, as a singer, you that happens a lot to you as a person because a lot of people they don't they don't claim to understand music or whatever it is, but that's like something that is a human thing, like a wholesome thing that unites everybody. So you can't really say like, "Oh, I'm not into music like that," or like, "I'm not like some singer like you." It's like, dude, you know how many of your ancestors probably sang? It's like, and then at the same time, you want to tell somebody, "Oh, you did so great. You did so great. It was so good. Yeah, it was so great." But meanwhile, how do you know? It's like, how do you know what was great about it? Do you follow any of me of my
Yeah.
music like that, or it's just other questions that come after something was good. And I'm sure somebody could say a lot about a different field of study, but singing might happens to be something I like to do. It's just it is what it is. It comes with the territory sometimes. You can't get happy when someone praises you. You can't accept someone praising you when you haven't earned it.
Yeah.
Like
That's
that's
very sad.
like and you see that too much now. And that's what we have. That's what we have now. Like what's it called? Clout.
Clout chasing.
Clout is basically you accepting praise for something that you didn't earn. That's what clout is.
So clout chasing basically is praise for something that you technically didn't earn. You're chasing something that
You're chasing
you're
for
wanting praise
praise
for
for
something that you
something that
technically
you
didn't
haven't
earn
did.
praise for in the first damn
Right.
place. Got it.
Yes.
This world is sickening. This world is so sickening.
Yam's Law Dictionary.
Right.
Like cloud chasing.
Right.
Your Honor,
Which is
the defendant is being charged on 2 counts of cloud chasing in the third degree.
right, right.
The defendant presents a definition of cloud chasing in Yam's Law Dictionary. Cloud chasing, the seeking of praise, attention, assets for something that he or she has not rightfully obtained,
Or earned,
or
or
earned.
deserved.
The minimum sentence, you get roasted by the Tico Trash channel.
Right? You get roasted by the TO channel on YouTube. They just roast you
That's
all the
what
time on
they
YouTube.
just roast you. That's all that happens. That's the minimum
Mm-mm.
sentence. Now, if you speak up and if you start talking, well, Tico Trans not a real court. Tico Trans blah 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 blah. Okay, you're held in contempt of Yam's court. We now extend the sentence to now we'll roast you over on Barry and Yam channel, and I'll share you with some brothers. No, I'm just kidding. We won't do that. But you will get some jail time for real, for real. Cloud chasers, they're the real criminals in this society.
5 years in prison.
5 years in the clink. 5 years.
5 years in prison. No
5
bail.
weeks.
No bail.
5 weeks.
And
5 weeks
and
on
no
the scene
and no
of
good behavior.
I got a better one. I got a better one. Since they all like to act, 5 weeks on the set of Scared Straight. There you go. And they just have a bunch of just like big, just like, yeah, you gotta get it today. And they're like, oh, sorry. It's like, what'd you say, CHAZ? He's like, no, I don't believe in CHAZ. I'm not a part of CHAZ. Speak up, nigga. I'm so sorry, black person. I didn't mean to kneel. It's like, you ever going to kneel again? No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please don't hurt me. I love Eminem. What'd you say? You know Eminem is my top 5. One of my top 5. Grab some lyrics from him. And it feels so empty without me. This looks like please follow me because I need a little controversy. Please don't kill me, please. Please don't kill me. And then they get let out after 5 weeks, and then if they want, they can be in a reality TV show called The Real World, like the real world.
Yeah, literally the real world.
We just follow their mundane life out there, recovering from all that trauma, just all that, just big dudes in their face yelling. Yeah, I think that would be a good sentence. I think that would be that's a fair and just sentence.
Shit, I still say 5 years.
Tico, you want them to die? They would die in prison.
5 years in prison. You want to chase clout? You want to be popular? I'm gonna need you to go chase your clout in prison. 5 years.
Yeah, he'd be telling the inmates to like, comment, subscribe.
Right?
He'd be like, I got like tattooed on my hand.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe. I got my first tear tattoo. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah.
Teardrop.
That's what I would really like to see a lot of people do nowadays. It's just go to jail.
I would like to see people go to jail for clout chasing. I would like that to be a law passer to go to jail for clout chasing.
Like if you
I think that should be illegal.
Yeah, if you ever if you were ever a teenage person, you had a face tattoo, you go to jail.
No, I don't know about that. I'm talking about clout chasing. I'm talking about you're trying to take pictures of you like donating food to a homeless person or a homeless shelter, and you want to put it on social media.
No,
you're clout chasing.
Is
go to jail.
Broad. Yes, clout chasing is
like shit.
Or if you
that's not something you share with the whole entire world. It's something that you just do from the kindness of your heart. You don't do that shit because you can be popular.
You pick up a power tool and you're trying to and you like get a photo op with you fixing a building. That
or would be acting like you're helping somebody board up their building, like that one news reporter. That's clout chasing. You should spend 5 years in jail.
You're in jail. You're in jail.
Yeah, 5 years in jail for clout chasing. Matter of fact, you don't even get to go to court because we don't get to waste the taxpayer money. You just go straight to jail for 5 years for clout chasing. You're automatically charged. Pretty much, you're charged on site basically, and you go straight to prison for 5 years.
No
trial.
No trial.
That's why I can never be president, because I would be a harsh president.
No trial.
No trial. No trial.
No trial.
Judge, take the day off. You're going straight to jail. Matter of fact, take them to jail, let them be processed, and drive their asses out to the prison. Their time starts when they actually hit prison.
Mm-hmm.
Not on the bus, not at jail. When they're actually processed and in jail and in their cell, that's when their time starts.
In that cell. That's when you hit the time.
That's when you hit the start button on your time. Yeah, straight up.
Well, when I was going to school, we had these like it was like a college bucks. I'll call it college bucks, and it was like money that you could spend it in the like the little cafe area. Get a coffee, snag a bagel, eat some chicken tenders, and I think they have that in jail, but it's called, I don't think it's not called, college bucks. It's just like,
it's just put money on my books.
A trade and barter system. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, no, they could get money put on their books. Basically, it's called, you basically put money on their prison books.
Right on some. Yeah. Yeah. Does that go into your amount of time you spend? Can you pay in time to get stuff?
No. You basically have to have somebody put money on your books.
Like from outside. Outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You can't
I think
just
I
like
think
be
there's
like,
like a
all
couple
right,
states. I believe
whatever
there's
I
a
got to
couple
do to get
states.
something good.
I think there's a couple states where you can actually put money on your. If you have money, any money that you have on you when you're going to prison, you can actually. There's some states where you can actually put that money on your books. That way you can live good while you're in prison. But there's some that won't let you do that. You get to collect that money when you leave.
Wow. Well, that's surprising to me, actually.
Well, no,
That
they
is very
basically put it
surprising.
in a big ass Ziploc lock bag, basically, and you get all your belongings back when your jail time's over. It's kind of like your watch and everything you own, basically. And the M fell out again. Basically, your watch and everything you own. Oh God, there he goes. It's basically your watch and everything you own,
Yeah.
basically. All the stuff that you came to jail with goes in that bag, and then when it's all said and done, and you get to walk out, you basically get your clothes back, your stuff back, and your belongings back, basically.
Uh-huh. Listen, I want to keep going, but I'm
Oh,
tired. I'm
well,
spent.
I'm shocked we went
I
this
got.
daggone long. You said an hour, pimp.
You know how I get. You know how I get around them CHAZ girls. I just
Right?
start to
Don't
perk
Chaz
up.
girls.
You got to be quick
Right?
around them, because they want a certain thing. You got to have like an overconfident attitude.
Right?
Sometimes you got to take their rights away. No, sorry, I'm sorry. Like TFS.
Right? Them Chaz girls, they don't expect no rings because they ain't never going no damn where.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying. You ain't
Only
lying.
rings they expect is bracelets when they go to prison. They go to jail.
Oh shit! You're going to jail.
You're going to jail. 44 arrests.
Oh
You're
my
all
god!
going to jail.
24
Shout
arrests.
outs to MRX,
I can't. I still can't.
MRX Way right there. You're going
Yeah.
to jail.
I still can't get over. I still can't get over. By the way, if you're in the chat, well, leave a like on your way out, or like, comment, subscribe. And thank you for listening. But I can't stop thinking about they got Mark.
Right? They
Shit,
got
guys.
Mark. They got Mark. Oh my God, they got Mark. He's the weed
Oh
man.
fuck! He took the best sign.
Right?
Oh my god! Oh, and they're burning that sign. God
All those
damn.
chalk signs in the street. Mark did those. They got Mark. We can't have no more chalk
They
signs.
got Mark. No more chalk. He had the chalk. They took the chalk.
Oh my goodness. They took
They
the
took
chalk,
Mark
man.
and the chalk.
Right?
Holy shit. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, yeah. Thank you guys for listening, and thank you, Tico.
You're welcome, Baran.
Yes. And you guys be good. Have a blessed day. And yeah, just be good. Love yourself. Do what's best for you. Don't be please don't go to CHAZ anymore. Oh, you can't anymore. It's closed.
It's closed,
Apparently.
literally. Yeah, I know, right?
It's closed. But avoid, a CHAZ girl when you see her, like Tico said, she doesn't have a ring, she got colored hair, maybe. But you always gotta watch out because they're out here now. They're not there anymore because it doesn't exist. So just be aware that you could be talking to one of those CHAZ girls. So you just gotta be careful. You gotta be really careful. But yeah, I don't think that's a flawed mentality to have at all. If you want to protect yourself from those CHAZ girls, you go right on ahead. And you always have people like Red Pill Dusty who will take them right off your hands for free. Just clean exchange. So reach out to him if you need some help getting rid of that. Get rid of that problem. But yeah, you guys have a good
Goodness
one.
gracious. You have a good one, y'all. Yeah, this is Tico Trent, aka Internal Sadist. This is our first time streaming on two platforms at the same time. We're
What
on
up?
Twitch, and we're on YouTube right now. So
Holla at us. We've been doing the YouTube thing for a long ass time.
we usually do these shows like at least twice a week in the middle of the night, basically because we just have the greatest ideas or something pops up and we just decide let's do it. So yeah,
Let's
you'll
do
probably
it.
be seeing us twice a week on Twitch, and you'll probably see me the rest of the week playing video games on Twitch, basically. So, yep, have fun,
Nice.
be
Nice.
blessed.
We
Bye,
are.
niggas. Bye.
Bye.